All right, Lenny, can't wait to see more of that all throughout the day. Let's get your forecast ready here on this Wednesday morning.
Yeah, because I was just checking. The winds are moving in from the north, so the weather feels fantastic for them this morning, you guys. And there's no rain, so that's even better. All right, temperatures are in the mid to upper 70s. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, 82 degrees in Key West. We are going to see a big change in the forecast today compared to yesterday. Monday and Tuesday were fantastic. We have that northwest wind still holding on for the next couple hours, but then we'll see more of a northeast breeze going into the later half of the afternoon. And when that happens, that's when we're going to see a subtle change in the forecast, introducing a slightly better chance of showers and more humidity returning. And really a good chance of storms this afternoon over inland spots at Broward and Miami-Dade, so maybe have the rain gear. As we go to the bus stop this morning, we're dry, but as we pick up the kids, we could see some storms around. Don't worry, I'll be with you. Just have the rain gear handy. We're rain free for now on the radar, so let's go to our latest on the tropics. Okay. So we have a hurricane emailed us spinning over the Atlantic. This system has winds of 90 miles per hour, moving east-northeast at 20 miles per hour. It is racing towards Bermuda. We really need to pay attention to our friends in Bermuda. Hopefully a lot of people have evacuated or they are prepared because this system becomes a Category 2 hurricane. And then we're seeing the last bit of Hurricane Umberto. It's going to be basically involved into a frontal boundary, and we'll say goodbye to it by tomorrow. More on your local forecast coming up.
All righty, South Florida, you guys don't have any accidents in Broward or Miami-Dade on any major highways right now, but what you do have is some bumper-to-bumper traffic in certain areas. Right here, we are looking at the Dolphin Expressway. Your eastbound lanes moving really slowly. This is no fun. Take a look at your westbound lanes, though. Things look a lot better there. If you do take the Dolphin Expressway, you can always take the Airport Expressway instead going eastbound. It seems to be the better option at this time in the morning, especially in this area right here. We're seeing all that congestion just east of the Palmetto Expressway. You can see speeds coming in here as slow as 21 miles per hour. So definitely not fun for your morning commute. Let's take you to another area I've been pointing out to you. You are seeing delays here on the Turnpike going northbound. This is near Southwest 268th Street. The good news is you have a perfect option not too far away. US 1 looks a lot better than all of this red, so consider taking that instead if this is part of your morning commute. Let's take you over to some drive times. My Broward County friends, you guys are accident incident construction free right now. 595 going eastbound, I-75 to US 1 12 minutes, University Drive to US 1 7. Be safe.
Golden hour at 5 morning, Andrew.
Yeah, Weather Authority meteorologist Julie Durda here with more. Listen, you hit the nail on the head with that forecast yesterday.
Yes, but I would like Alex to sing my praises with that beautiful voice.
Yeah, there you go. You know what, Julie? I do have to give you an encore, and it's to be
She does private audiences only.
right.
Okay.
We're very exclusive over here.
I'll come over as soon as I'm off TV. All right, well, let me tell you, it was a welcome sight to see. And yes, we are singing our praises because, look, we're waking up to just as nice weather. It's only for a few hours, though. I'm sorry, my friends. It's not an all-day event. Temperatures are in the mid to upper 70s. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, lower 80s, Key West. Wind still out of the west-northwest, so it's still comfortable. It's still a land breeze. But that all changes by this afternoon, all thanks to now a northeast breeze expected. That easterly component to the breeze brings us more heat, more humidity, and some showers off that ocean breeze. And so therefore we do have that chance of storms. Not widespread, not everybody dealing with downpours today. That actually leads into the forecast tomorrow. So if you don't use your rain gear today, just keep it in your car because most likely you use it tomorrow. Today, it's all about the speedy showers. Highs will be in the 90s. We'll feel like the mid to upper 90s. All right, going to the tropics. We have Imelda spinning over the Atlantic. This system has winds of 90 miles per hour. Last checked, it's moving east-northeast, racing at 20 miles per hour, headed towards Bermuda as a Category 2 hurricane. We are going to be checking on this, and we're also going to be talking to meteorologist Amanda Pappas with more on Humberto as well. More coming up.
South Florida, taking a look at your roads right now on this Wednesday morning. It is 7:33. Things are busy out there as expected at this hour, right? So let's take a look right here. You do have some police activity on I-95 going northbound. You can see those emergency vehicles right there, some flashing lights. This is near Northwest 119th Street. So you can see cars moving pretty slowly past it. So your northbound lanes in that area are moving slowly. You can take 441 if you'd like to avoid this. Also US 1, depending on where you're coming from. Let's take a look at your maps right here. I want to take you you closer here so you can see some delays. 95 north and southbound seeing delays, but you do have a broken down car on your express lanes going southbound, which is causing a lot of that red there that you see. This is near before Northwest 95th Street. You do have a left lane blocked in your express lanes. Your regular lanes are okay, but you have delays nonetheless. If you take a look at US 1, things are moving smoothly or a little better for you in those southbound lanes. 441, as I mentioned, is always also an option. Let's take you here. 595 going eastbound, I-75 to US 1, 17 minutes, and University Drive to US 1, 9 minutes. For those of you in Broward County, things are looking pretty good for you. You did have a car on fire a little while ago, but that has since cleared.
Amanda.
Good morning. Yeah, we're talking about, look at this, seas that are really just looking angry at this point. This is Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. And let me tell you something, from being there, my parents don't live far from here. Normally where you see this bridge that's coming down, typically you got a good at least half-mile to get to the water there. I would say at least a couple hundred feet up to where it should be right now. I mean, this is insane how much that this water has actually moved in. This is not normal, and it's all thanks to, of course, Imelda that's sitting just offshore. This is not normal. You should be seeing a lot of beach, a lot of sand, and all you see is water. I mean, this is wild this morning. Aside from that, though, you do see some sunshine out there towards Carolinas, but this system a good while away. I mean, it's not anywhere close from the Carolinas, and you can see how much of an impact it has on that surf, causing that dangerous surf and rip current risk up and down the southeast coast, which is wild to see. So talking about Hurricane Imelda, it's a Category 1, but now it's sitting over the open water, and it's going to use that water as energy to get better organized and strengthen into a Category 2 hurricane before it makes landfall in Bermuda, and they're under a hurricane warning. And unfortunately, whoever got out yesterday was very lucky, because if you haven't left, well, now all of those airports are closed today. There's no mandatory evacuation orders for Bermuda in place. However, all those storm preps, they put out that statement that they need to be officially done today, because that storm is going to arrive, of course, tomorrow. Now, we do see after it makes landfall in Bermuda, it's going to quickly dissipate into a remnant low pressure. Aside from that, we also have Hurricane Umberto hanging on by a thread here. It's going to quickly dissipate and realistically become some more energy that Imelda can use as it's passing over Bermuda. But I really think this is an interesting situation to have two hurricanes that are sitting just off the coast of the United States out there in the Atlantic Basin. And it serves as a great reminder that even though we're in October, spooky season is here, we are still very much in hurricane season. So you want to make sure you have an evacuation plan or also a kit to always staying prepared. That's going to be the key. We want to make sure of that. So I do want to mention to you guys, though, too, that we are going to see some changes in our local forecast. We had that drier air from Imelda that pushed through yesterday, and that made really nice conditions here in South Florida. But I don't think that's going to be the case for the rest of this week. Isn't that right, Julie? Good morning.
Yes, thank you, Amanda, for that. I mean, it's amazing when we look at that infrared satellite that we have two hurricanes just about 150 miles or so apart from each other that's occurring and moving away, which is best news for the United States. So for us, it was a very soggy September, so soggy. Check this out. We had the wettest September on record in Fort Lauderdale since 2020. We had over 16.5 inches reported. In 2020, we had over 16 inches. So as we go into the first day of October, it feels nice right now, but all good things come to an end. And typically for this time of year, we have an average high of 88 degrees, an average low of 76. Not terrible, right? Well, it gets even better as we end the month, an average high of 84 and then an average low, which will be fantastic to have lows in the low 70s. Oh my goodness, we waited so long for this to happen. Average rainfall just over 7.5 inches. So speaking of rainfall, it returns today. Nothing widespread, but because of that ocean breeze, the same breeze that brought the rough surf and what you were seeing across the Carolina coastline is still affecting us all the way down here in South Florida, which is bringing our marine conditions still as a threat for high risk of rip currents for beachgoers and boaters. We have those advisories. Breezy, speedy showers off the breeze can't be ruled out today. A soggy setup goes into tomorrow and really stays with us the whole weekend. So as you heard me mention, enjoy today in the morning hours, because once the winds start to move in from the northeast, it gets warmer, it gets more humid. Right now we still have a west-northwest wind, winds of 3 to 5 miles per hour. Feels like temperatures still comfortable. We're in the lower 80s and mid 70s. Widening the view, you can see the tail end of that moisture from the stalled out front already starting to trap into parts of the central half of our state, but we're still holding on to some dry air. Not nearly as much though, but we'll take whatever dry air we can get, and that's going to help keep us from having widespread precipitation today. But once the winds start to move in from the northeast, all of that changes. We'll be under a very soggy setup and unsettled weather pattern going into your Thursday, Friday, and yes, the moisture content will increase going into the weekend. So we've also noticed that our in-house model is pulling the weather prediction setter, showing that we could be under a level 1 flood threat as early as tomorrow, and that will lead us into the weekend. High risk of occurrence for beachgoers, boaters. The bays will be at a light chop, but with that being said, we still have that northerly component to the breeze, providing for the advisories for not just Miami-Dade and Broward, but for you in the Keys as well. So enjoy your first day of October. It won't be a washout, but we will see some showers around. Have a great day.
South Florida, taking a look at your roads here. You did have an accident here not too long ago, and it's moved over to your shoulder here. This is I-95 going southbound. Let's take you over to your map so you can see all of that red right there. Things starting to get really busy out there. It is 7:50, nothing unusual, right? So right here, 95 going southbound just before I-Zeri Road. You do have that right shoulder block now. So it was the left lane, but that just changed right now. So you can see those delays. You can take US 1 right here. Things look good. You can also take 441 going south. Northbound lanes, you guys look good. You're on the green. Let's take you a little further down south where you have a broken down car. This is in your express lanes going southbound just before Northwest 95th Street. You can see the red in both directions actually, but this is happening in your southbound lanes. Again, if you'd like to avoid this, you already know 441 US 1. The left lane in your express lanes is blocked because of this broken down car. Hopefully it clears up soon, and I will check in on it and let you know. I will leave you with this. Drive times for my friends in Broward, 595 going eastbound, 23 to 12 minutes, a little longer than usual to get you where you need to go.
It's really sad to see those homes just being washed away, picked up like they're almost toys by a giant there. It's sad, but it is a major realistic thing that's going on right here. That is what they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And right now I have a live look at Wrightsville Beach. Shout out to my parents. They don't live too far from here, and you can see how angry the water looks, and it's all thanks to two different hurricanes, not just one, but two. Imelda sitting just off the shore there, a couple hundred miles away, but still it's nowhere near the coastline and still making huge impacts. Look at this. Normally I know this area very, very well, and I've gone to these bridges before and seen this area, and let me tell you, typically the water is way further back. This water has traveled up at least a couple hundred feet. Typically you have a ton of beach to actually walk, a ton of sand until you get to the water, but now that water is right up to that staircase. Look at that bridge. It's meeting that water. You walk out right into it and into the ocean. Absolutely wild to see this, and you see the angry white caps, and this system is nowhere near the Carolina coast. It's a couple hundred miles offshore, and it's moving in the other direction and still has a major hold on our marine conditions, not only in the Carolinas, but spanning down into Florida's east coast as well. But what we know from Hurricane Imelda is that it's forecast to strengthen, and that's thanks to Humberto also playing a part and using the energy from Humberto to get better organized and strengthen as it is set to make landfall in Bermuda as a Category 2 hurricane. And we know that the evacuation orders, they're not mandatory. However, storm preps, the official government entity, went ahead and said that those need to be done by today, as the system will be making landfall heading into tomorrow, and also the airports are already closed, so people are stuck there at this point. But once it makes landfall in Bermuda, after that it's going to quickly dissipate into a remnant low and continue to travel eastward. Speaking of quick dissipation, that's exactly what's going to happen too for Hurricane Humberto. That 5 o'clock advisory shows those winds at 80 miles per hour, but you can see from our satellite imagery how this system's being basically pulled apart and stretched out, and it looks more elongated than anything. It does not have that nice circulation. It looks lopsided. It looks very unhealthy at this point. And then we also have, of course, Imelda there, and it's going to continue, of course, to track towards Bermuda, still looking more healthy though than Humberto at this point in time. So we know that this system is bringing a lot of rain, to other places, but we also know that we are really reaping the benefits from Imelda. So I know Imelda's sitting offshore, but thankfully yesterday on the backside of the system, we saw tons of dry air from it. And with that dry air, we got beautiful conditions. I know I was outside enjoying them yesterday, but I know that that's not going to be the case heading into the rest of this week, especially as we kick off October, which I really wanted the fall-like feel, Julie.
Yeah, well, be patient. It'll get here, as we always have to be here as South Floridians. We're used to feeling the heat for much of the year. I gotta tell you though, Amanda, pretty impressive impressive rainfall rates. No surprise, it was the wettest September on record in Fort Lauderdale with over 16.5 inches. The last time we saw 16 inches was back in 2020. And obviously, you remember each and every day we were talking about downpours. Well, at least we ended the month on a dry note. As we just mentioned, Amanda, it was beautiful. I hope you enjoyed it. We do have those dry conditions for at least the next couple more hours. And then a shift in the wind direction is going to bring us a better chance of storms in the forecast today and leading into the rest of this week. And as we look at a glance of October, we typically have an average high of 88 degrees, a low of 76. By the end of October, spooky Halloweeny, we will be seeing temperatures average high of 84. The low is 71. Let's hope we are at 71 because I got to tell you, I know a lot of you, all the parents, everybody that's been with me for the last 14 years right here on Local 10, most likely about 10 of them, we have been sweating. We call melted makeup by Halloween, right? With all of our kids out there and having fun. So the other thing you'll notice is our average rainfall for October, about 7.5 inches. So we are expecting those chance of storms. Speaking of that, we start today. The breeze will start to move in from the northeast, some speedy showers possible, but then the soggy setup really starts to set in tomorrow leading into the weekend. Yeah, the first weekend of October. Live look outside. You can see those cloudy skies starting to build. Temperatures upper 70s. Still nice. We still have a north wind in place, but again, that's going to transition into a northeast breeze. Dew points low to mid 70s. Winds anywhere between 5 to 8 miles per hour. Our dew points are reflecting the actual atmospheric moisture. It's not too terrible yet, so it still feels pretty nice out there. We're in the lower 80s and upper 70s. Satellite and radar composites still showing some showers offshore for now, but all of this is going to change because as we see our winds moving in the upper levels of the atmosphere from the west, still grabbing some dry air. At the surface, we'll see more of a northeast breeze. So that convergence is going to bring us the possibility of those sea breeze storms. And at that boundary is where we'll see the best chance of storms today. Some of you may stay dry. That will not be the case tomorrow or leading into the weekend. We'll see the moisture content starting to increase in our forecast, and that will bring us downpours for the next couple days, at least leading into the end of the week and the weekend. So much so, the Weather Prediction Center has put us under a level 1 flood threat starting tomorrow and going into Friday. Headed to the beach or doing any boating, I don't really suggest it just because of how rough the surf is still. Can you believe it? All the way down here in the southern half of Florida all the way up to the Carolinas. We're still dealing with that rough surf. Small craft advisory for beachgoers and boaters, same for you in the Keys. So we'll see those hit or miss showers today. Better chance of storms tomorrow.
Wednesday morning, happy October, South Florida. It is 8:24 and things are moving slowly on your roads. I'm happy to inform you that you don't have any accidents in Broward or Miami-Dade on any major highways, but we are seeing some heavy delays here. This is the Dolphin Expressway east and westbound. Your eastbound lanes just looking very congested across the board. Take a look right here. You have red for quite some time there. This is just between the Palmetto Expressway and 27th Avenue. You can see here that you have delays as far as, let's see how many miles that is for you. About 4 miles of delays. That's no fun. You can always take the Airport Expressway if you'd like to avoid that. Another area here that we're seeing some heavy delays. This is I-95 going southbound just after Hollandale Beach Boulevard. You can see things really start to pick up, and they do not get any prettier as you approach the Golden Glades interchange. If you want to avoid these 14-mile-per-hour speeds, you can take the turnpike in this area. Looks good. Also, US 1 is a good option for you. 441 always a good option too. I-75 going northbound. The Palmetto to I-595 will take you 15 minutes, and the Palmetto to Pines Boulevard will take you 8. Buckle up and be safe.
Annaliese,